about Nate Diaz versus Jorge Masvidal in their historic rematch, which consists of a boxing rules event. The last time, in the contrasting aspect of this event, is that Jorge Masvidal was the much more superior MMA striker, utilizing leg kicks and being able to utilize punches that would cut Nate Diaz in a way that ended the fight. Well, now we're sort of in a different rule set where Nate Diaz has all the punch advantage and he can display that. Total jabs 300 out of 200. Oh, wow. Okay. So that's quite a volume right there. We are right now awaiting the decision between Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. So as I was saying, Nate Diaz is the better boxer. He's proven it tonight, and when they fought in MMA, Jorge Masvidal was the better MMA striker and maybe even better MMA fighter, with the fact that he could take Nate Diaz down, out-wrestle him, probably have a much better jiu-jitsu than he would. That's just the reality of that whole entire concept. So let me get a better angle right here. So okay, so now we're getting the decision right now with Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz. 95, 95, a draw. Okay, the other judges may have overruled it. 93, 98 to 92. Who won it? Stockton. Nate Diaz won it. So, what a crazy bet Conor McGregor made earlier tonight. So, okay, now we got the final decision. Right now, within 2 minutes and 20 seconds, we'll say, during this live stream, we had just now witnessed who won the fight, the boxing rematch between Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz. So as I was saying, for those that have just tapped into the stream right now, like and subscribe. I'm going to break down to you the contrasting difference between MMA striking and boxing in relationship to Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal, being that they both fought each other in two different sports. So Nate Diaz has a type of pace in MMA that lends itself positively to a boxing championship round pace in the way that we saw him fight right here, even though it was 8 rounds, in the same way that we saw him fight with the Jake Paul fight, which I believe was a 10-round fight, which is even more than this. So what we saw, he said, yeah, shout out to California as he is being interviewed right now. So we are fresh into the reaction of Nate Diaz speaking right now. He said, I show respect to anybody who's fighting. He said he showed that he came to fight. So he asked, was the strategy to drown him? Okay, that is one thing that we could really take from this particular fight with Nate Diaz. The whole entire plan for Nate Diaz was to drown Jorge Masvidal. And what do we mean by that? By constant volume. Now, how is Nate Diaz able to produce that kind of volume? Well, what he did was slow and steady shots. When I mean slow and steady, a pace that he can keep up with. In other words, a marathon-style pace. Meaning that if you're running a 400-meter, you're not going to run in the same mechanics as you would if you were running, let's say, a 12-miler or maybe a 24-miler. What did he say? I think he said something about fighting Jake Paul or this and that. Let me see if we can gather any more information before we can talk more about this particular event. Because I don't know if I'm going to talk specifically about just this event or other matters in combat sports as well, but we will definitely break down this fight as I had mentioned to you earlier. Okay, so Jorge Masvidal is thanking God, or at least specifically Jesus Christ, but we'll not go there. But so, okay, Jorge Masvidal says that he felt like he landed more meaningful shots. Now, here's the problem, and here's where Nate Diaz lends himself to being the much more formidable boxer in this end, right? His style and pattern, his pace that he's able to put on. Jorge Masvidal was looking for the bomb every time with the overhand rights, with the hooks, and not only that, tried to match body for body with Nate Diaz in the close exchange sequences that they had in the fight. So this is what Jorge Masvidal is interpreting as, well, you know what? This is... Oh, what is this? Hold on. It seems that there seems to be some issues with the camps. What is going on here? You know that the Diaz brothers can definitely pop off at any time. So you never know what is going on here. Okay, are they going to... seems that people are backing them off right now. Nate Diaz is walking in the center, which I believe he's... Okay, he's hugging Caesar Gracie, which I believe is the owner of the Caesar Gracie gym, which Nate and Nick had first trained at. Obviously not a boxing coach, but a very instrumental part of Nate's career and his martial arts journey in total. And there's Jorge Masvidal right now walking out of the ring, as Nate Diaz is still inside the ring conversating with Caesar Gracie and his main boxing coach at the same time, and one of the kids that is with his camp, and yeah. So yeah, Chris Avila apparently was able to sit up front. Did you guys see the complaint with Talbot, Peyton Talbot? He said that he wasn't able to stay for the card that he was fighting in which they were like, well, we got to kick you out of here. You can't stay here. Look at Chris Avila right there. He fought earlier. Now he's back, and he's celebrating with Nate Diaz while he sat in the front row. But once again, if you missed the small analysis that I had on this fight, just the macro analysis of it, looking at it from the perspective of both MMA and boxing, right? So we both know that Jorge is the better MMA striker. He has the better kicks. He has the better takedowns, and he's proven that in that fight. He had the better MMA boxing, but Nate Diaz just seems to have the better boxing. And it showed tonight, and what you can do in MMA is not necessarily the same as what you can do in boxing. And sometimes it's a whole different matchup when you're dealing with a whole different skill set that particular person is used to. Nate Diaz has trained with the likes of Andre Ward. Now, this lends itself to a lot of positive outlooks of taking a look at what it means to face an elite boxer. And what exactly does it take? A lot of volume, a lot of skills, a lot of defense, which, by the way, Nate Diaz sort of put his foot off the gas a little bit on the defensive side. He got caught a few times, but it only shows the skills of Jorge Masvidal as well. He's also a very proficient MMA boxer. And tonight, honestly, a proficient boxer at that, but just not enough volume to be able to compete with Nate Diaz, which, by the way, I think can really lend itself to a lot of problems with top names that are in the world of boxing right now. So, for example, what if you were to have Nate Diaz fight Anthony Yarde? How would that fight look? In all honesty, I like Nate's chances in that fight. If he continues on with a certain pace and a certain volume, I think that he's going to be able to beat a lot of top guys. Anthony Yarde could be one of them. Joshua Buatsi could be a good matchup for him. Who else is in that particular weight division right now? Maybe even Nathan Cleverly, if you can get him out of retirement or if he's even active. Jose Burton. All these British guys that are within that 170-pound. For those that have tapped in right now, I'm talking about the possible matchups that Nate Diaz can fight in boxing. Nathan Cleverly comes to mind. How about this Joe Smith Jr.? And what I'm proclaiming is that I think he's competitive enough to take on these names. How about the Vargas kid taking on Ryan Garcia's brother earlier? That was a little bit odd, wasn't it? Ryan Garcia walking him out. I would imagine the type of backlash he had obviously would have been a lot of boos. There's Anthony Pettis against Chris Avila, with Chris Avila getting the win. Shane Mosley, how about this, getting a win against the legendary Danny Jacobs? It was a good card. That big cut in the eye of Danny Jacobs, and in the end, with Mosley Jr. getting the win. And then obviously the main event, you had Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. Again, the volume. If you can present that in boxing, but not only present that in boxing, but also give a certain pace that you can keep up with, but also enough for you. So Jake Paul would beat Yard and Joshua Buatsi. Carl Birch, okay, what's up, my man? I'm very familiar with who you are. What's up? Shout outs to everybody in England. Do I think that he would beat who now again? Let's confirm this. Yard and Buatsi. Jake Paul, no. I think that Nate Diaz would have a better shot just based on a certain style that lends itself to volume. I'm not saying it's a guarantee. I'm just saying that it's a possible bad matchup. It really is. Think about this, right? And by the way, I want to talk about how this was put on UFC Fight Pass. We're going to go into the business side of it. But for now, understand this. Nate Diaz had the better style of boxing based on the volume. And if you want to compete at the highest level of boxing, you got to have volume, and sometimes volume can make you a bad matchup for a lot of people. And that includes, for Nate Diaz, he's going to be a bad matchup for Buatsi, Yard, and all those people that you had just mentioned right there. Yeah, just my own humble opinion. I could be wrong, but I could just really see him cause problems. Now, how was it that he wasn't able to cause that kind of problems to Jake Paul? Look, here's something you guys may not like as a take on Jake Paul. Jake Paul is very good. He's very strong. That's part of the reason why he's good, is because he's able to use his strength, translate it to knockout power, while also having positive skill sets to go along with his performance. So it's a combination of all those things, and once again, some people are just bad matchups for other people. This is why a lot of top boxers have had plenty of losses in the amateur ranks. Primarily because in the amateur ranks, you don't know who you're facing. It's not nepotism. It's not in any way of trying to match fix in any kind of way or trying to get an advantage. It's one of those situations where you face everybody that is the best in the world and you don't know who's going to be in front of you. And sometimes some matchups are just bad for others. And once again, this is why a lot of people, top boxers, have had multiple losses in the amateurs, even if they've had 400 to 200 some odd wins. Because they face people that they have no idea that can present a certain threat to them. So this is what I mean. Everybody can beat anybody at any given night. And who would have thought that Sugar Shane Mosley could beat Danny Jacobs? But he did. And that's just how boxing works. That's just how MMA works. And that's just how everything works in between. So for those that are tapped in right now, don't forget to like and subscribe. Carl Birch gives me a thumbs up. Big thumbs up to you, my man. Great seeing you. You know, it's always awesome to have you in here, talk about combat sports, talk about the fights. We've obviously talked about the fights that we've witnessed just right now. We can talk about other subjects that are in MMA right now. How about the fact that Conor McGregor is really hammering and doubling down on Khabib in this recent terrorist attack that had happened in southern Russia and Dagestan. Now, here's something that you got to understand. If you're a fan in general and you don't train with Conor McGregor, you're not in his team in any kind of way, I got to tell you, you don't have a stake in the fight. And quite frankly, you don't have any right to generalize the fact that Khabib had somebody that was a horrible human being that committed a horrible act that happened to be in his gym. You can't put that on Khabib. For reason being that it's just generalizing, and honestly, generalization is for people that are the most lowest common denominator when it comes to intelligence. So, if you're Conor McGregor, you have a pass. If you are Conor McGregor, you have a pass on what you are saying about Khabib. But if you're everybody else, you don't have the right to speak and call Khabib a terrorist sympathizer in any kind of way. You're not allowed to say that because you don't have proof. And on top of that, it's generalizing based on the fact that you had that person that was at his gym. So if you want to see more of that particular content, I have it in my catalog in my video section. Check it out. Also in my live stream, check it out. Regarding Khabib and the attacks that have happened in Russia, how he fled Russia, that's also a good one. And also the Ryan Garcia scandal with him using the N-word and the sociological background of where he got these particular ideas from. So this is what I want to present to you. So take a look at those videos while I talk more about Jorge Masvidal and Nate Diaz that just happened right now. And like and subscribe because these are the types of conversations that you're going to expect from me, the type of analysis that I can give you that ties mixed martial arts into geopolitics all at the same time. Now, I've always had a vision of creating a channel that merges current events, geopolitics, and mixed martial arts. How do you mix all of those together when most of the times it's very separate? But luckily, in the world of MMA, it is a culture that doesn't follow the NBA narrative of shut up and dribble. In fact, a lot of these guys delve themselves into politics and a lot of controversial topics. What did it say here? LFG Diaz, Win City Beats. Shoutouts to Win City Beats, LFG Diaz. Let me know what that means. I'm not really sure what those mean. Please further educate me. But yes, moving on with the subject that I was talking about. Let's see here. Let's go back to the subject that I was talking about. Controversial topics. What did it say here? LFG. What did I say here? Hold on a second. In the world of MMA, it is a culture that doesn't follow the NBA narrative of. Oh, yes. Okay. So that's the beauty of the MMA culture, as I was talking about earlier, is that it doesn't follow the narrative of the NBA culture of just shut up and dribble. In fact, a lot of these athletes in MMA delve themselves into political issues, and even Khabib, who, by the way, was very apolitical in the way that he approached his, let's say, promotion, the way that he managed his fame, never really talked about controversial topics that dealt with religion or geopolitical conflict within certain regions, in particular his own. So he was very good at doing that until it came to his doorstep in ways that was inevitable. And now he had to be tested. And so here we are. And a lot of people will always wonder, well, how can you tie geopolitics with the talk of mixed martial arts at the same time? Well, I got to tell you, I could do that based on my understanding of different parts of the world, the different countries that I've traveled to, my experience with different nations that I've visited, whether it was through civilian means or military means or through being a student or through everything else in between. I can talk about these things, and also understanding the Islamic world from the perspective of the Sunni Salafi school of thought, while understanding the mainstream society of Arab culture, which, by the way, ties into Dagestan, its region, and Russia, and all the things that are going on there. So there is no better time than to tap into a channel that talks about all these things all rolled into one, while also talking about local California street politics and everything in between that is related to those subjects. So these are the things that I can offer in this channel, in which I urge you to like and subscribe. And for now, we're going to continue and talk about the Nate Diaz and the Jorge Masvidal fight. So we talked about the techniques. I don't want to keep going over and over about the technical breakdowns because I've already done that in the past 20 minutes. You can rewind back, take a look at different parts of this video of which and where I have done that. But in the current moment of time, let's analyze about what could potentially be next for Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. One of the things that could be next for Jorge Masvidal, well, with a loss like this, could there be a possibility of going back to MMA? Yes. Suppose, and you're going to call me biased on this one, Belal Muhammad beats Leon Edwards next month. Where does Leon Edwards go? He can try to climb up the ladder again, maybe get a rematch. But what if he doesn't get a rematch? Then guess what? He gets a bigger bag with Jorge Masvidal. Suppose Leon Edwards loses his next fight to Belal Muhammad, says no to a rematch because he could have a bigger bag in fighting a returning Jorge Masvidal, who has a storyline behind him where he punched him in the face in London back in 2019 when they both were in the same card at a UFC London event. And by the way, it was shocking because he knocked him straight into a 1-2 shot live on camera on an ESPN coverage post-fight. Jorge Masvidal was being interviewed by Megan O'Leary. He has his hands behind his back. He walks up to him, gives him the 1-2, the 3-piece and a soda shot that everybody talks about. And from then on, it made Leon Edwards look like the biggest punk in the whole entire MMA, which made his rise less mediocre than what we would have expected it to be, because it had a rocky story behind it which lives up to the moniker of Leon Edwards. So, hypothetical scenario, he loses. If he does, who does he face next? Leon Edwards versus Jorge Masvidal in the cage in the UFC to finally settle that street fight that happened in London. What about Nate Diaz? What is next for him? Well, you saw earlier in the stream, we talked about how there are plenty of names that I think would be a bad matchup for Nate Diaz in the world of boxing. Buatsi, Yard. Whitaker, no. I think Whitaker and Diaz would be a good fight. You know what? Ben Whitaker and Nate Diaz would be a good fight. That's another fight right there that I forgot to mention. What do you guys think? Ben Whitaker versus Nate Diaz. Think about it. Are they in the same type of level? Maybe the same type of experience? Obviously, Nate Diaz is a little bit older, but the type of boxing that Nate Diaz has done over the years, training with Andre Ward in the Bay Area, honestly did him positive. Remember this. If you can't remember anything else, Nate Diaz trained with Andre Ward, and Andre Ward happened to be the greatest boxer who, by the way, left a little too soon, undefeated, really put a hurting on Sergey Kovalev at a time when Sergey Kovalev was coming off of taking a man's life in the ring, if you want to really put that in perspective. Okay? So, I know that there were other fights going on tonight. I haven't watched any of those fights. And I'm going to be honest with you, in order to really give full justice of those coverages, I'm going to have to watch those fights and then talk about them. I'm talking about the Shakur Stevenson fight. I didn't get to see that one tonight. The other UK boxing cards that were going on today, I didn't get to see that. Had a very busy morning. There were no UFC. So this was the only fight that I really watched and covered tonight, which is Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal. So the business side of it. Now that I got a decent amount of people tapped in right now, I'm going to talk about the business side of this whole entire ordeal. You guys remember the lawsuit with Colby Covington, right? You support G people. What kind of question is that? You know what that is? That's a setup question in which you're just trying to create something that... I'm going to tell you this. You're low IQ. I'm just going to put it like that. You know that I'm a Muslim man. You know that I have beliefs. You know that I have principles. We're going to keep it at that. Okay? So let's talk about the business side of this incident with Jorge Masvidal, sponsored by UFC's Fight Pass, and Nate Diaz, sort of in a outside agent contract, but in a way where other organizations, he says, I love you. Well, I love for you to like and subscribe. That would really help. So big ups to you on that. The business side of it. You guys remember when Jorge Masvidal was sued by Colby Covington. They told Colby Covington to drop the lawsuit. Did he? We never heard about it. But what did we hear? Leon Edwards fighting subscription. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the subscription on your part, my man. Thank you for all those that are tapping into like and subscribe. So, further on, the business side of things, right? Jorge Masvidal dropped the lawsuit because Colby Covington got a title shot against Leon Edwards. So if you're wondering why the infraction and transgression on the part of UFC's competitive architecture, it is because they had to negotiate. They had to make a move. What is your favorite movie? I don't have one, but I'll tell you one movie that I saw yesterday, just randomly out of nowhere. Not say that it's my favorite movie or anything like that, but it was just happened to be a classic movie I was watching yesterday. It was Menace to Society. So I urge you to check that out. It's a 1993 movie that takes place in South Central LA. So the business side of it, W. Okay. What that means it's a win, I suppose. So I guess that's a win, getting to see a classic movie like that, right? So the business side of it, you're my Sigma. That's what's up. Awesome. Thank you. What is your name? Bonobo? Yeah, but you guys see him on the chat, the live chat right there. So Jorge Masvidal has a deal with the UFC. He also has other fight contracts in which I am drawing this conclusion of why he's going to fight Leon Edwards if Leon Edwards was to lose to Bilal Muhammad. And guess what? If, let's say, Leon Edwards was to win, guess what? Jorge Masvidal gets a title shot. Even coming off of a boxing win, a boxing loss against Nate Diaz, ultimately this was a win for him regardless. This fight was under his promotion. Shout out to that guy that said he likes my beard. Thank you. It's quite unique, right? Maybe you don't see a lot of MMA content creators that look like Dagestani fighters, I suppose. But this is not really a Dagestani look. It's more of a religious Islamic look, but a conversation for another time. But for now, on the business side, they don't want Nate Diaz to also compete MMA with other organizations. So this was the best way they could hold him down while also maintaining a business relationship with Jorge Masvidal. I gotta go. Stay Sigma. Yeah, that's... I'm gonna block you if you say outrageous statements like that. Okay, because... whatever, man. Grow up. But anyways, the business side of the UFC is that they either want to control the situation or allow you to sort of give the illusion of freedom, which is what we saw tonight, at least in terms of Nate Diaz's contract. So he fought against Jake Paul outside of the UFC, but at the same time, let's be honest. Anytime you have anybody that has fought under the UFC banner and they fight elsewhere, it is also a win for the UFC. He has zero riz. What I don't understand what you mean by zero riz or whatever that means. He makes my blood boil. Who in particular makes your blood boil? Riz is charisma. Who is Riz? But anyways, Jake Paul. Jake Paul is the one who... Well, if you're saying that Jake Paul makes your blood boil, in all honesty, he's designed to be that way. And this is the reason why a lot of people tune in to watch Jake Paul. Because they are intrigued by the fact that he is this brash, overconfident human being. And here's the thing. Most of you, I gotta be honest with you, a lot of you don't like confident people. And I love that we can segue this into other topics because I've literally talked about the fights. I've talked about the technical breakdowns. I've talked about the business side and the incentives of the UFC and their control structure and also their business strategy that goes into allowing Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal to do things outside of the UFC, but within the scope of their control. I've gone over all those things. I'm going to talk about the fact that most people, one time I pee on myself in front of MMA fighter. Yeah, very mature of you, right? I don't know why you would say that, but get a life. That's really the best way to describe you is get a life, right? But I suppose, hey, engagements are good, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to criticize it. That's the entertaining part about it. You say these outrageous things, and I go and nullify you and let you know of your shortcomings and why you have no right to say some of the things that you say. It says, my life is in front of, yeah, whatever that means. Good for you, right? You say one more dumb statement, I'm going to block you. It's fine. We're just goofing. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Just banter, I suppose. But like I said, it's great for engagement, and that's what it is. So before you rudely interrupted me, though, okay, uh, let's get back to this. Most people don't like overconfident people in the subject that we were talking about with Jake Paul. You don't like overconfident people because most people around the world are introverts. Let's just be honest about it. Uh, a lot of you have this safe feeling of getting on the chat, let's say talking smack to someone like me in ways that maybe some of you would never say that to me in real life, just like with anybody that you do, whether it's with me, whether it was a bigger channel, smaller channel, whatever size or format. A lot of you are just propelled to do that. So why do you do that? Is because most of you want to feel better about yourselves. You want to feel better that, hey, you know what? Here's this guy that's willing to get up on camera. That's, by the way, something you're not willing to do. And just say, you know what? I'm going to go slag him off. I'm going to go diss him just so I can feel better about myself, where you don't have a profile pic on your YouTube profile or channel. You're not attempting to create a channel. You're not attempting to create anything or contribute anything to the world. You criticize those that are willing to step into the theater of the men that are willing to step into the arena. Okay, you criticize the man that is in the arena, as that Theodore Roosevelt quote used to say. That's what most of you are. So you don't like overconfident people. Now, from the Islamic perspective and a religious side of spirituality, I do understand the value of humility. And that is something that I am willing to cherish and practice as a person that believes in the Islamic faith and the religion. Didn't Abraham Lincoln get in theater? Yes, he did. If you're referring to my beard or you're trying to make some kind of Lincoln reference, thank you. That's sort of the point of the whole entire thing. Now, here's something a lot of you don't understand about YouTube algorithm creating a channel and trying to attract attention. You got to stand out. If I just stood here and just talked about the kicks and the punches, oh, Jorge Masvidal was very slow. Nate Diaz was throwing all the volume. Those are all the obvious things. And by the way, from somebody that has trained, somebody that has competed, somebody that has experience in the sport in multiple ways, including media, I can share with you all these different information that is useful to the world. Okay? But then there are those that just want to cause damage, criticize, and once again, really not try. Okay? So it makes you feel better about yourself that you down others that do try. And that's the reality of life. My man said king stuff. That's right. Hashtag king stuff. Obviously, I'm not going to say it in the way that he does, because here's another thing too. Another secret. The less that you curse, the more that they're willing to monetize you. And I guess maybe that helps with the algorithm in some kind of way. But shout out to those that have been helping with the algorithm in some kind of way over the days now. I guess suppose you just get on here, stay consistent, and do the thing. King stuff. Hashtag king stuff. He backtracked it into that, which is, yeah, not of a curse or anything like that. But yeah, when it comes to the Islamic faith, we try to express the best speech. So, unlike Ryan Garcia, Mr. Beast needs to have you in a challenge. What kind of challenge? That would be interesting to ask. What sort of challenge would you have in mind? I'm thinking another Squid Game. All right. Mr. Beast, holler at me for the challenge. I'm always down, but like more people. Yeah. So, once again, anybody can talk about the kicks and the punches, but I can go at it from different angles, different perspectives. I could also just break it down into examples of your own daily life. and more money. Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so shout outs to Mr. Beast for that particular show and the different types of challenges that they do there. Conor McGregor had that bet, $500,000 on Nate Diaz. So I suppose that won him $1 million, or probably just a little bit. I don't know how gambling works, but obviously that's just not Jeremiah Jubker. I don't know what that means exactly. But anyways, so what else do we have? I think that's Stoke 40 cents from me. So, okay. We went over the Diaz. We went over Ryan Garcia. Check out my videos that I've had on that. That's really all that we have for this matter right now. He said that I vowed vengeance. That's awesome. All right, guys. I think I'm going to sign off right now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I've got more content coming along the way. Inshallah, I hope you guys tap in for the next one. Or, no. So what do you think? Another 20 minutes of this? I think, you know what? I think we'll do another 20 minutes. How about that? We'll do another 20 minutes, okay? Let's react to the press conference. I believe they're going to have a press conference for this, obviously, so... Okay, listen, relax with the comments, okay? Let's react to Jorge Masvidal right now.
I definitely were looking at the fight right now in the locker room. The more meaningful shots and a lot more of the meaningful shots were landed by me. So I just feel that it didn't go my way, but whatever, man.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Okay, look. You cannot rely on just... Yeah, you can't rely on that, man. Volume sometimes is what wins fights.
Make it a neutral place and let's fucking throw down, you know?
Last thing for me, Dean Toole said it, posted it earlier, 15 months in the making. How crazy was it, this 15 months run with you and Diaz, this rematch boxing? Can you wrap it up shortly in 15 months and finally happening tonight?
A lot of ups and downs. The fight got moved numerous times. You know, the camp was long. Thank God there was like no serious injuries. You know, towards the end, I had a couple injuries I had to battle through, but thank goodness I was able to make it here. All praise be to Jesus because I got this done, win or lose. It was a great experience.
I Am Worthy of Redemption by Mr. Beast.
Learned a lot about myself as well, and
okay.
I got a lot of miles left in the tank.
That's
so I don't know
quite classy of you right there.
We're gonna be looking for somebody.
Let's see here.
Hey, all right.
305. Someone shouted out 305 right there. I'm reacting to the press conference right now. Earlier, I had the analysis. I talked about other MMA fights, life in general. Rewind back, but for now, we are reacting to the press conference.
Which is just fight, get in shape, so this was a little different. But fun, man.
Let's spar. You let me know the location, my man. Okay, you let me know the location. We can go at it.
So I definitely love it. You know, it's more hands-on.
I'm in your city, bro. What city are you in? What city exactly are you in?
We definitely got a show. We're going to announce it pretty soon. We're going to throw one down towards the mid to the end of September. We got some bangers, a title fight on the card, so it's going to be a great one.
He said, haha. No, Bono, this guy named DK underneath, he said, haha. Yeah, man, hey, listen, I'm always down to spar. You know, I train, I do... What is, hold on.
Definitely boxing.
I'll do it, man. Just tap in with me. All love, brother. Hey, shout out to you, my man. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we are reacting to the press conference right now.
Was there anything that you saw in the footage that you kind of wasn't aware of during the fight? Because you said the crowd affected a lot of possibly the judges. Is there anything you saw in the fight or in the footage?
Shit, I mean, from what I saw, I definitely hurt him more than he ever hurt me. I got way cleaner shots, especially to the body. He never even did anything to my body. You know, I definitely hurt his body, and a couple of times that hurt him.
He said, haha, I can't even troll you, sub now. Such a good guy. Hey, that's what's up, man. You know what? I treat others the way that they want to be treated, and not only that, I reciprocate what you reciprocate back to me. So If you are a person that is nice or is cordial and it is a gentleman, you're going to get that out of me. But if you want to play nasty and get gangster, hey, guess what? You know, we could ride on the west side anytime, any day, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here representing Sacramento, California. That's how we get down as we react to Jorge Masvidal in the post-fight press conference. He's talking about me. No. That's I was speaking to the other guy. He said, "Hell yeah, bro, DK. That's right, West Side, California." Hey, everybody, tap in. Let me know where you guys are from. Right on the chat, what part of the world you are from. And then this guy writes, "I will survive." I'm assuming you're probably trying to talk about that song in your head, but either way,
He backed up. He put a lot of pressure. He was coming forward, but he never hurt me. I don't think he landed any meaningful punches, but 8 rounds to 2 is like fucking nuts. But whatever, it's California. I knew I had to get a knockout or, some shit like this.
George County Sports can register. 5 years ago in this building, Nate called you out. This felt like it could have been a full circle moment for you guys. Talk about seizing the moment in combat.
I am from Florida. That's what's up. Hey, but you need to chill with that
Sports and how important that is for a fighter's career. Do you feel like you really did that with this motion in this moment?
Definitely. I know no matter what,
Mendocino County. Okay, that's what's up. Shout out to Mendocino County.
Obviously, the win first over
Tapping
everything, but now
in.
entertaining the crowd is another part of it. So I'm glad we got to entertain everybody. We can probably sell another arena where the fuck is at.
After a long build up to this fight and this beef is going on for quite
Okay,
some
so
time now,
earlier they had
this
Sugar
this
Shane
this one now?
Mosley
Yeah,
already on.
And now I just gotta look for the next one. I'm a dog. I'm a field dog. I'm like being in no cage and no kettle, so I'm just gonna get right back to work, find the next opponent, get my ass in shape, and let's go.
So I know you know some things could be in the works, but what direction do you want to go? I mean,
Right now, shit, I couldn't tell you. I sit down with my coaches, sit down with Solomon from Famio, and figure it out. See, Nate wants to run it back or whatever the fuck it is. I'm just getting in shape and try to take the head off.
and how many fights do you
Oh,
have
so
left?
they're talking about
Just
another
got a couple more
rematch.
with Famio. I got 2, so I'm definitely gonna do those 2 boxing matches.
Jorge, when you retired from MMA, you said you weren't seeing him like you felt comfortable, but you went through a whole training camp and that whole fight. How did you feel out there? Do you still have that?
No, I feel great. I feel great. It's just boxing now. So you're not worried about takedowns, kicks, elbows, and knees. So it's a little easier just to see the hands coming. I'm not trying to take anything away from boxing. It makes it a little different. You got more weapons coming at you. But as far as
Gotta
tonight,
let my
I was
super
alright.
stay on that king stuff
Is there
and
another
keep
name?
being
It's not
a
available.
Sigma and
Shit, right now we
don't
just drop
stop.
it. Comes out.
What did he say? Don't stop.
I was watching the videos that were released, and you said,
Don't stop slaying. Hey, that's right, my man. Shout out to you, my man. Thank you for tapping in as we are reacting to the post presser right now. Post-fight presser.
Where I wanted to beat tonight, I wanted to get my hand raised by a knockout. I wouldn't have been happy with a decision. But as far as like mental peace and all that, I got a great team behind me. My family's behind me. I got great friends. My kids fucking love me no matter what I do. So it's just stay healthy, stay trained, and see what comes out of it. I don't think I lost too much stock tonight, but I lost the fight. People saw that I come here to fight. I'm not here to big batter or fucking eat salads and post it on Instagram. I just come to fight. That's all I do. So just get right back on the workhorse and get to it.
Masvidal.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's up, son?
What's up, man? I have a question.
All right, so we are now. You know what? I don't know if you guys know this, but you can rewind back and put the speed of the entire video to its full capacity, and then literally, eventually, you would keep up into the live, which is what we did right now. So if you heard Jorge Masvidal speak like a chipmunk earlier, is because I had it on a speed that literally kept up back to the live right now. So we are live reacting to Jorge Masvidal in this current moment in time.
And the things that we're working out that he saw, this could work in a boxing ring. Let's polish him up and keep him moving. So I'm still, it's a beautiful sport. I've always said it out of all the arts and martial arts, it's the one that comes most natural to me, boxing. So I definitely feel that I got some advantages over a lot of motherfuckers. So I just gotta keep training and keep working.
But in all honesty, Jorge Masvidal is the better MMA striker, and Nate Diaz proved tonight that he was the better boxer.
Very close. I agree with Solomon. Just keep it up, man. You're doing great. 2 more fights in boxing. I can't wait to see more.
Yes, sir. God bless, brother. Thank you, everybody. God bless.
All right, he said, thank you, God bless. All right. All right, so is anyone else going to come after that? Is Nate next? If so, let's see. Hold on. But let's see what Mosley said. Okay, you guys could look up Mosley on your own. But obviously they're just waiting for someone right now. We can start off with Mosley real quick.
The better of him. Absolutely. Absolutely. I felt
Let's see.
what's going on, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for covering it. I appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoyed the fight. I would love to hear your questions.
Shane, congratulations.
Thank you.
Biggest victory of your career, I feel like, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the biggest win of my career. I like have to like pinch myself. I'm like, wow, I literally just beat.
So he said that's literally the biggest win of his career right now.
Somebody that did it twice. You know, it's an incredible accomplishment and achievement, and I'm just like, wow. I mean, I can't believe it.
The more love we feel, the more rainbows we puke. The more rainbows we puke, the more oranges we anthropomorphize. The more oranges we anthropomorphize, the more love we feel. The more love we feel, the more love we give.
And so, how do you stop that? You poke to the stomach. You poke holes in that gas tank, and towards the end, they try to press the gas, and there'll be no fuel in the gas tank. So that's what happens.
Hi, Danny with Channel Boxing.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Now, once Jacobs got his eye cut, what were you thinking as fight to slow down? Just kind of sit there and figure out what to do?
Yeah, I mean, when that happened, it was because a lot of switching. He does like to switch it and things like that.
So we're just reacting to the post-fight press conference right now.
And truthfully, I was just trying
So,
to hit it. You know, I fanted it. You know, it was a threat. Now, right? There's blood in his eyes. It's a threat. I got to add on to it. Right? So I got to throw punches at it, make him have to worry about that, and he's not worried about anything else.
Congrats on the win.
Good to see you, man.
Good to see you, too, bro. So, did want to ask you, man, the crowd was getting a little antsy for that main event. Did you hear that? Did it happen?
Of course, none of that matters to me. It shouldn't matter to me. I'm a professional, right? So I have.
Yeah, that's a good point. They asked Mosley, were you getting antsy knowing that the crowd wanted you to end the fight because they were waiting for the main event? He said, you know what, I don't care, I'm a professional. I know that the main event was scheduled and promoted to be just absolute violence and action, but he said that his entire plan and purpose was to mitigate danger, and I think that that's very smart on Mosley to take that route because, hey, look, man, skills pays the bills, and that's just the reality of it.
Champion, a big stage, your biggest win. Like, going forward, what does that do to your confidence as far as those matches out there for you and your career prospects out there?
I gotta say, this is not even my final form. You know the reference. You know the reference. This ain't even my final form. Let's go. Let's go. My goal is to be undisputed middleweight champion. That's what's gonna happen. This ain't even my final form.
Hey, congratulations on the win.
He said this isn't even his final form yet.
So, when can we expect that fight?
I don't know. We gotta make it happen. We'll figure it out. I got some things I gotta work out. I'm gonna be becoming a free agent soon, so we gotta work out those details.
He said he's going to be a free agent soon.
So we're gonna take this one step at a time. You know, I just gotta see where everything falls.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm over there.
Hey, Shane, you mentioned
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Congratulations. You mentioned me a couple weeks ago, winner lost, goal stays the same. It's middleweight championship. Does this give you more fuel to add that fire, get that strap?
Absolutely. You know, these are gems and jewels that you just capture along the way of your goals, and you gotta love the process and continue to work on the craft. Even though I won, I dominated, whatever the case is, I still get better. I still need more to
So
get to my goals.
Mosley said that even though he won, he felt like there's still more that he could work on, and this is literally what he means when he says that he is a consummate professional through and through.
Thank you so much. I forgot to say, but I have to. I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you. I wouldn't be here without him, and all the glory be to the Most High. Thank you. Thank you guys all for being here. I appreciate you covering it. I love what you guys do. Keep on being part of my sport, because without you, we wouldn't be anything. Nobody would see us. So we need you guys, and I love you guys. Okay? Thank you. Oh, I want to thank my wife, my beautiful wife right here. I love her. She's put up with me through all kinds of training camp. If you know, like literally, I've been in training camp since my last fight, because I was supposed to fight in February, and then like all kinds of, like, it's been a long road. Anyway, she's put up with my shit, and I love her so much. And I thank all my team. They put up with my stuff for a very long time. Literally, their way paid for my strength conditioning for like ever, and like all my people that have just put up with me and been supporting me. This win was for you. I love you guys. Thank you so much. There's a lot of people to name. Like when you get on the list of people to name, like there's a lot of people that I can name that have helped me along the way. I just want to say thank you to all of them as well. This is for you guys, and I hope you're proud.
All right, next person up. Let's see who this.
Works. Yeah, this was a pretty difficult event to put together. A lot of time, energy went into doing it. Both guys put out a hell of a fight.
It looks like a
Personally, I'm not someone
promoter.
that actually does a professional scoring, but I thought it was a pretty close fight. Felt the judges might have been a little bit off on the scorecard.
Yeah, they said that it's a
Diaz,
close fight. Look, I can argue that I think Nate Diaz won most of those cards. Now, honestly, unfortunately, I didn't
It takes a little bit of time to get it together, but
score the card as it was going on.
Any questions if you guys have any?
All right, can you give us any indication on what fights you might be working on next?
I can't reveal what we're working on. It's definitely something that everybody in this room will be pretty excited about. We have 3 different fights in the works, but one for later this year.
All right, and the relationship with Nate Diaz, is that something that's going to continue, or are you planning on trying to book him again?
Possibly. I mean, we'd have to have some conversations, see what we can work out for the next fight. You heard him, he wants to fight Jake Paul.
Okay, so yeah, he did call out Jake Paul. Okay, that's
Was there any difficulty in
interesting.
dealing with UFC and making this happen?
Difficulty? No. Fortunately, we have a good relationship with them. He is under contract.
So you see, as I mentioned, there is a relationship with the UFC, as I mentioned earlier in the stream.
If you want to get Masvidal in for another boxing match, any opponents that just sound interesting to you?
Absolutely. And we're working on those. If I say it, it's a big reveal, so we'll save that for another day.
All right, good try. Thank you.
Just one question for me. You just mentioned you thought the judges were a little bit off in the main event. Can you tell us why you think that?
I believe they are talking to the promoter right now.
The other one, I think, was 97 to 93. I just felt it was pretty far off. I think it was a much closer fight than that. Again, I'm not a professional at scoring, so it's really, maybe my opinion isn't holding weight. But I do think, my personal opinion, though, is that it was a much closer fight than what they put out there.
Did you believe that Diaz won the fight, or did you have party one?
I actually thought it wasn't. I thought it was going to call a draw. I'm not sure who won that fight. I think it was very, very close. But at the
So,
end,
okay, the promoter here is saying that he thought it was a very close
What
fight.
insight can you give us into how it was working with Nate's side, working with his side, bringing them together to make this happen? You know, what was the easiest thing about it? What was the toughest thing about making this fight happen?
Well, it wasn't an easy one. They're different people. You know, they're different personalities. You know, George and Nate are very much the opposite. They definitely have their own sort of way of doing things. We had a lot of promotional requirements in this event, so getting these guys to do everything we want was a little bit tough, but they came through.
Thank you.
Hey, Solomon, obviously sold out show tonight. Tons of people, tons of Brownie fans in attendance. Do you guys meet your expectation? Are you expecting a solid crowd into this?
Oh, for sure. We were thinking from the start. I mean, these guys fought a few years ago at Madison Square Garden, sold out the Garden. We have the same expectations here. It's a home state for Nate Diaz, huge fan base, for sure. Thank you, everyone.
All right, so that is the end of the promoter. Let's see what it's where Masvidal was at.
I just wanted you to go far off.
I got. Real quick.
All right, man, how are you? Great fight. Thought it was phenomenal. Solomon thought he thought it was a very close fight. How do you
Okay,
think
here we go.
just wanted you to go far off?
I definitely know the judges were influenced by the crowd because a lot of those shots. When I in the corner, I was getting my timing, throw 3-4 shots to the lane, and then I throw a good power shot. I'd see that I heard him, I back him up, or he started goofing around, hurt him to the body numerous times, and I think 1 or 2 of the judges.
Yeah, Jorge is saying that he tried to hurt him in the body a few times.
So I just feel that it didn't go my way, but whatever, man. We're 1-1. We run it back in somewhere like Vegas, make it a neutral place, and let's fucking throw down, you know.
Last thing for me, Dean Toole said it, he posted it earlier, 15 months in the making. How crazy was it, this 15 months run with you and Diaz, this rematch boxing? Can you wrap it up shortly? 15 months and finally happening tonight.
A lot of ups and downs. If I got moved numerous times, you know, the camp was long. Thank God there was like no serious injury.
All right, my man, how are you? Great fight. Thought it was phenomenal. Solomon thought he thought it was a very close fight. How do you think the judges scored? Do you think it was far off?
I definitely know the judges were influenced by the crowd because a lot of those shots, when I in the corner, I was just getting my timing, throw 3-4 shots to the lane, and then I throw a good power shot. I'd see that I heard him, I back him up, or he started goofing around, hurt him to the body numerous times, and I think 1 or 2 of the judges.
Okay, so I think we're pretty much kept up with the entire. We're. Oh, whoa, wait, Chris Sevilla. Hold on, we didn't get to Chris Sevilla yet.
We're gonna take on anyone who's coming and all the hottest people, and we're gonna do that. Thanks, everybody. Thank you. We're gonna take on anyone who's coming and all the hottest people.
Okay, there was no Chris Sevilla. I guess not. Okay, hold on, let's see. We are reacting to the press conference right now, guys, if you are watching. So we are just waiting, I believe, either for... Okay, Chris Sevilla had already spoken, so yeah, I guess we're just waiting on Nate Diaz to talk right now. So Nate Diaz is probably going to come up soon, and that is who we are just waiting on to react in the presser right now. So, who knows what Nate Diaz is doing in the current moment of time, but yeah, he's definitely being waited on by the media right now, as I am currently waiting on Nate Diaz, and then I'm going to cut the live stream after Nate Diaz comes on. So shout out to everybody that's tapping in from around the world and that is tapping into this live stream right now as we await. It's me again. What's up, my man? How you doing? Just here reacting to the presser. for sure, Connor probably had some tweets regarding this particular matter. Let's see here. Doesn't look like there's any updates on this particular matter. I decided to put $500,000 on Nate. Yeah, that's... So Diaz and Masvidal is currently trending right now on Twitter in the current moment of time. And they're still awaiting Nate Diaz. Yeah, so Nate Diaz has yet to appear. In the meantime, let's see this.
Pro tip, when utilizing LRF, you must do a shovel test to check for...
Was it a good fight, though? I would say so, yes. Especially if you, Carl Birch, if you are a Nate Diaz fan, it was classic vintage Nate Diaz.
Redondo.
Right now, I'm just reacting to this dude named LAOC on YouTube right now, right? If you want to tap in on him, he's just driving around Los Angeles doing a crime cruise, pretty much. Okay, while we await Nate Diaz, by the way. Why? Because this fight is taking place in LA, so why not watch a police scanner that's going on in LA while we are awaiting Nate Diaz in LA. And he's probably going to show up with a blunt while he's in the presser, but we'll see. We'll see if that's the case.
More people just froggering across the road, not even looking. Great. The bonfire is right around the corner from here. That's why everybody's parked.
A bonfire.
I'm pretty sure everybody's
okay.
leaving now. That's what it looks like.
This looks like it's by the docks in LA. You know what? That same area where they filmed Fast and the Furious at. If you remember where they had all the early car races in the beginning of...
People are yelling.
Yeah, so he's pulling up in a very sketchy neighborhood right now.
See, look at all the club kids.
He said, "Look at all the club kids."
A lot of fishnets over here. Oh yeah, this is super sketchy.
Super sketchy, huh?
I think there's a cop in front of me, maybe.
Waiting for Nate Diaz right now. While we are
These groups don't
reacting to a police scanner in LA.
At all. Jeez, these outfits are crazy.
Correct. Your GoPro's free here, but drop back a little bit northbound on Overhead. Now 90, the frequency's on a standby.
We're reacting to a police scanner right now while we are waiting for Nate Diaz to enter the presser room.
I can't really...
I don't see anybody going the direction that we're going. Everybody is going the opposite way. Oh, I see the fire now. It's at the end.
Avenue.
Oh, we got dudes tagging this whole area up on the right.
Two daughters, female black 30 years, 13 to assault parents.
Oh wow, man, he's actually filming the dude, like, tagging up. What's going on here?
30 Ranger, 2510, 12 Figueroa Street, incident 4893, RD 319.
This is sketch.
Code 5211, RD 625, time down 415 man.
We're listening to a police scanner right now.
Look at this
waiting
car
for
right
Nate Diaz.
here. This is letting you know what the neighborhood is. Look at this car.
Oh wow, they burnt that whole entire car down. Look at this.
Oh, these are train tracks right here. I think I might have just run over something too.
I think you're running the show here. Did you copy it?
Did you see that upside down car burned out?
Come up to
Wow.
Fairfax.
They burnt an entire car. That's crazy.
18-41, Roger.
And by the way, this is going on outside
That
of
dude just walked up to do a big
where
old
Nate
graffiti
Diaz is
piece on that
fighting at,
wall.
by the way. So, it's LA, Orange County area.
Is this the area that you want to come party in right here? Look at these outfits.
Not white, no shirt, white shorts. Purchase code 3, incident 9, RD 1101. B41 around MBC Joe. 5062.
Look at this car.
60 unit hit room misdemeanor Martin Luther King and Main Street. TC'd into a parked Dodge Charger. Suspect is a male Hispanic gray shirt. Exits the vehicle with a female Hispanic, clean bleeding from the head. Vehicle is left at scene as a gray Honda license 19 King unit.
Shoutouts to LAPD SWAT who became a new subscriber. Obviously, it's a fake page, but...
Heard slamming. Code 3, incident 5284, RG2062, 11 AM, identify.
Oh, the PCH.
So this area is called Wrong Side of the Tracks, unofficially.
Still waiting on Nate Diaz to arrive right now.
It is dark over here.
From PCH, 7 Paul David Young, 276.
Hey, you know what? It's well worth the wait for Nate Diaz, I say.
Fireworks went off right here.
You know, and we're running up the views as we're waiting on Nate Diaz anyway. Sup, my G? Who is this? Is this John Rose 420? Sup, my G? What's up, my man? How you doing? We're waiting on Nate Diaz right now. I'm just reacting to a police scanner right now on the YouTube channel called LAOC TV, right? While we are awaiting Nate Diaz to arrive and react to his press conference, which will be the last part of my stream, but for now I'm reacting to a police scanner going on in Orange County, which is where the fight is taking place, so it's kind of appropriate, so...
Using Nas.
MT is called back. They were able to get the subject to leave through location. He's no longer needed. I'll let you just go.
Who in this chat has seen Judgment Night? Cuba Gooding Jr., Emilio Estevez.
Judgment Night, I've seen that
Dennis
movie,
Leary,
yeah.
Stephen Dorff.
I've definitely seen that movie, yeah. Judgment Night. That's where he's driving through right now. Alright, where's Nate Diaz? Has he arrived yet? No sign of Nate Diaz yet. You know, Nate Diaz is going to take his measly time, you know it. Right, it's already midnight right now in the West Coast, right here in beautiful, sunny California. So, we're just waiting on Nate Diaz in a current moment of time.
Approaching major intersection.
All right, Peru Olympic, still southbound Doheny.
Shout out to everyone that's tapping in right now. You know what? Since I have all these people that are right here, I'm not going to bore you with just listening to this, right? So I got a good amount of people that are in here right now. I got something to talk about. How about this? Conor McGregor has the right to criticize Khabib, okay? Everybody else in the world, in all honesty, you don't have the right to criticize Khabib. You want to know why? Because you're looking at it from a perspective of an outsider looking in. Now, even though Conor McGregor's take on the matter is biased, he has the right to that biasness because this is his opposition. So that's all I wanted to say with that. Let's go back to the
Look
police
at the
scanner.
graffiti on the train overpass right here.
While we wait for Nate Diaz again.
Anything to pit? XL 66, 9 XL 66, come in.
20 to Queen 321.
I'm hoping that pursuit gets on the 101 and starts coming south.
Eagle at La Cienega, southbound La Cienega.
So they are coming southbound. Maybe they'll hit 110 and come toward the city. It stinks over here.
Go through Pickford.
All right. In the meantime, you know what? I may just have to look at the Shakur Stevenson highlights because I can't be waiting this long. Hold on a second.
L10.
Let's cut this one off. Let's take a look and see the highlights of puts on a clinic. Wow. Okay. So he puts on a clinic in this fight. Let's take a look at Shakur Stevenson in action right now. Obviously, I'm the one that's looking at it. I'm reacting from the Top Rank fight highlights that was posted 2 hours ago. That's what I'm looking off right now. So. Just put it at normal speed so we can look at it normally. Hold on, here we go. All right, here we go. Okay, so from what we're seeing with Shakur, we're seeing a lot of really good Philly shell. Okay, just really good defense, good body work. Very controlled and measured in the way that he moves his feet. Very good head movement, good 1-2 shots. Okay, very good jabs, setting up a lot of the punches he has with jabs. We're reacting to the Stevenson highlight right now of the fight that he had against Harutian, the Armenian gentleman that he fought. It looks like he was sort of complaining with a low blow shot there. There he is back with a Philly shell again. He's really good with that Philly shell. I would love to see Nate back in the UFC. Yeah, you know what, Rose 420, I think that there's some fights for him there, but how about Jorge Masvidal going back and fighting Leon Edwards? Now, that would be a pretty good fight, right? What do you think? Think about the storyline of the unfinished business between Leon Edwards and Masvidal. But yes, Nate would be fun to come back with, maybe against Conor. But even if it's not with Conor, he would be great with a whole multitude of different matchups. So here we go. We're still reacting to the Stevenson-Harutian fight right now. All right, so pretty standard performance for Stevenson. Unanimous decision by Stevenson. All right. Awesome. What else was in the other fights tonight? How about the DAZN cards today? Let's take a look at the highlights of the DAZN cards. So I know that I said I wasn't going to cover these fights until I was going to see them. Okay, let's... The Cepeda and the Cabrera full card highlights. I'm going to react to that right now. That is on the DAZN network. The whole entire card. I think Leon Edwards would smash Jorge Masvidal. I think so too, but it's still a fight that needs to happen, and they have a great history behind it. So this fight was taking place in the Toyota Center. This is a Golden Boy card. We are reacting to the full card right now of Cepeda and Cabrera. Now, let's take a look at these 8-minute highlights that they have going on here. So, Sandoval and Acosta for the flyweight division. what else here? Has Nate showed up yet? Nate has not showed up yet. Okay, still waiting on Nate. So good. At least while we're waiting on Nate, we can still run the numbers up, run the like and the subscribe as we go over the DAZN card. I just went over the top rank card, well, the top rank main event with Stevenson. Now I'm going over the full card highlights of William Zepeda versus Giovanni Cabrera. So here we go. The first fight of the night that we are reacting to right now. Who is this right here? Iriarty versus Alvarez, which is a 6-rounder that we are reacting to right now in the first fight of that night. Oh, wow. Some strong hooks by this dude right here. Boom. He's going after him. He's going after Alvarez right now. Look at this. They're swinging wild at each other, just throwing some bombs right here. You see this? These are the type of fights that you miss out on when you sleep on a card. I mean, I don't regret just focusing on the Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz card, but hey, I'm just saying this is a card that I definitely missed out on. So if you saw this fight live, man, I gotta be honest with you, you were in for a treat. So, and this was the first fight of the night right here with Iriarty versus Alvarez. Iriarty. Here we go with a body shot by Iriarty. Backs him up in the second round right now. So he's just battering him with some body shots right now. What is this? This is a flyweight fight? What division is this? This is a tall dude. Okay. He's got him stuck in a corner right now, banging him away. Boom. Hits him with an uppercut. Then hits him with a swinging hook. Ooh. That's it. The referee stops it right there in the second. Iriarty wins in the second round against Alvarez right there. Batters him. All right, next fight. What is the fight right here? Let's see. So this is a fight between Flores and Armabullet. So already down in the second round. What is this fight against Flores and Armabullet? Flores floors Armabullet again. Now he's down on the ground. That's it. Done. Next fight. Sandoval. I believe this is Kane Sandoval from out here in Sacramento. Yeah, I definitely missed out on this one right here. I should have not missed out on this one. I believe this is the Sacramento dude. Let's see. Yeah, this is definitely Kane Sandoval right here. All right, so yeah, let's get a focus on this one. Has Nate Diaz been up yet? No, we're still waiting on Nate Diaz. Here we go. All right, Sandoval versus Acosta. Oh, wow. Sandoval just got rocked right there in the first round. Off to a rough start so far. We're reacting to Sandoval versus Acosta right now as I am looking at the full card highlights on the DAZN Boxing. William Zepeda versus Giovanni Cabrera. We're looking at the entire card right now. Right now, it's the Sandoval versus Acosta fight in the 6th round right now. Nice jabs by Acosta, keeping him away, backing Acosta up into the ropes of the 6th round. 20 seconds left. Wow, yeah, pushing Sandoval up against the ropes right here. Really using a lot of clinch right here. Yeah, sometimes people underestimate how much clinching really goes into boxing and how much of it can be used as a strategy. Here we go. They're both swinging at each other right now. That is the end of whatever round that was. So 10th round. We're looking at the 10th round between these two right here. 10th and final round. This was a 10-round fight. Still going at it with each other. Close range shots. Just swinging for the fences between Sandoval and Acosta. Sandoval rocks him. It's getting exciting now. So I'm looking at the highlights, by the way, for those that are wondering why we're waiting for Nate Diaz. Oh, okay. So Sandoval was able to stop Acosta in the 10th round. All right. Shout outs to Kane Sandoval. Sacramento's own Kane Sandoval. There it is. A controversial. They don't really like that stoppage, but hey, it is what it is. Oh, okay, hold on. We got Nate Diaz on right now.
Nate right here. Simon Simano with MMA Junkie. You walk away from this fight with a majority victory. Is it a satisfying victory?
Yeah. As far as boxing goes, and that, and what was the round count? What was the 7-3? Yeah, that's cool. But
I'd say so. I would agree with the 7-3 score.
With him, it should have been a real fight. But I'm happy I got the opportunity to fight somebody who I like a real fight. So it was good to have an opponent. We had something to fucking fight for.
What would be your assessment of the fight? Because Jorge came in here and said that you put pressure with a lot of volume, but you never really hurt him, and that he landed the bigger shots in the fight. Is that accurate to you, or what do you think of
I think he threw the harder shots and was trying to kill, but couldn't get no jobs done. I never really got hurt. He made with a couple things that I was like, all right, motherfucker, I'm not gonna let you do that again. But if it was shorter round, I think we could have done a lot more damage. But it was 10 rounds, so I treated it like that.
Now that it's tied 1-1 between you guys, and he's got the victory from 5 years ago that felt a little, I know you felt a little burned by it, it was taken from you from the doctors. This fight ends in a majority decision. Does it feel like this chapter of your career is closed, or would you like to run a trilogy with Jorge?
That's a whole nother situation for later. I think we're 1-0 on each other. He got to win in
1-1, Nate. He says 1-0 on each other. That's 1-1.
Who knows what's gonna happen next with him? But at some point.
Okay, he meant 1-0 in each sport. Okay,
in
got
the
it.
ring, you got
that
on the
makes
mic,
sense.
and the very first thing you did was you called out Jake Paul. Can we act? It's a fight that's been talked
just
about.
Off the top of my head, I would like to whip his ass. I would like to get a win against Leon Edwards, who's the best fighter in the world right now at 170.
Okay, so he's talking about going back to MMA as well.
I think that's what something major who's actually gonna bring something that I could take and put in a credential box. That's what I'm going for. I'm not playing for no fucking fun fights, because that shit ain't fun.
Last thing for me, just to follow up then, the fact that the Jake Paul fight has been talked about for the last 2+ years, it seems. You guys have gone back and forth with each other on social media. You guys have gotten into it before. How realistic can we see a fight between you guys, whether that's boxing or an MMA?
It's fucking pretty realistic, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. So
that's the only thing I
maybe
got
Jake Paul going to MMA this time.
They're fucking tight. Could get their ass whipped.
Nate right here. I asked Chris this question as well. They released the payment before the fights tonight, and a lot of the members of Team Diaz were getting paid pretty well. So how does that feel to see your team getting paid well and the team being brought up together? And do you think that more people in combat sports should look out for their team the way that you do?
First and foremost, shout out to my boy right there with the Now Boys. Happy Dad, and I see you consistent with this shit. That's tight. And everybody who's with me is fucking doing what I do, and they deserve the world. So And a lot of other fighters probably in a similar situation. So it's up to them if they gonna get it, because we're gonna get it, and that's the plan. And I plan on all these guys that came with me to go a lot farther than they even fucking kicked off as. Like, they're gonna fucking blow up to the max if they keep their eyes on them, because these are the guys that'll take the war with me.
And then I just wanted to ask about the tribute to Mike Tyson, the Be Real that you walked out with. Just what was the thoughts behind it?
That's what this whole shit is all about. You come in here and fucking whip ass, and if you got the fucking mics and the cameras on you, you tell them what's real. And when I saw Mike Tyson walk out like that, I was like, that's the fucking. That's what this whole shit's about.
Hey, Nate. Carla Perez of MMA. The crowd was going absolutely electric tonight. The place was nuts. Do you enjoy getting a fight from your home state crowd?
Yeah, I love it. I love that. I know where everything's at here. I know a bunch of people here. And this is the best state and the best country in the world. So why would I not want to be here?
Last question. Are fight days a little different without Nick?
100% less scary and fucking intense. And yes. If Nick's here, I better kill that motherfucker, because that shit wasn't good enough.
Hey, Nate, Danny here with Chicana Boxing. So, what are you going to smoke after this?
He asked him what he's gonna smoke after this.
Not with me, man. They checked me at the door.
Roll that shit up, whoever got it. Yeah, whatever I can find.
Nate, right here. Congrats on the win. Did you get a chance to see any highlights from Chris' performance? And if so, what did you think?
Well, I watched Chris fight and fucking.
He's asking him about his friend Chris.
That shit got me more fucking confident, pumped up, and warmed up. I knew it would be like that, but you know how it is. Your boy's going to fight, and when he went in there and round one happened, I was like, all right, warm up round, and then I saw stuff start happening. I was like, no way, Chris got this. Chris, the best boxer. Chris, Alan Sanchez, my boy Lucian Ramos, and Jose Guay, who fought on the card tonight, and Kenny Lopez. These motherfuckers are I'm telling you, the best. Fucking Chris handled business, showed out, and did what he was supposed to do, and that's a soldier right there, and I appreciate that, because it warmed me up and got my job done.
So the same night that you called for the BMF fight, in this building, you defeated Anthony Pettis. What insights did you give to Chris in preparation for tonight?
Oh, Chris know what he's doing. I didn't tell him no insight. I was just rocking with him like he was rocking with me. I go in there and have the worst days of my life with Chris. Fucking, so I already know. Like me, you see my sweatshirt walking out, Be Real, right? I'm not fucking
All right, we're back.
Somebody to do something.
He said that he's walking out with Be Real?
You know
Is
what I'm
that
saying? So,
right?
like, I'm talking about these guys. It's fucking no joke.
Last question, Alan.
If he thinks so, pull up with it.
Congratulations, 18,500 fans, a sellout. Ellie Seckback reporting. Conor McGregor today said he's betting $500,000 on you. He broke down.
Oh yeah, here we go with the question. I think this is the first time where he learned that he said that he's betting $500,000 on him.
That's cool.
He said, that's cool. That's how Nate responds to it. He says, that's cool.
Any message?
Cool, that's how Nate responds to it. He says, that's cool.
Love the people, love the press for coming out too and doing all this.
Any message?
Big show, big night, had a good time. Thanks for coming. Love, I appreciate everybody. Westside nigga, what's poppin'?
Oh wow, Nate Diaz just dropped the N-bomb. You know that a lot of people are going to give him flack for that, right? Nate Diaz dropping the N-bomb. All right. Well, that is the end of it. Guys, that is all that I have for you. Like and subscribe. Watch from beginning to end all the reactions and all the breakdowns and all the storylines all involved in the world of combat sports. I will see you in the next one, inshallah. Like and subscribe, share, watch, tell a friend to tell a friend, and I will see you in the next content to come. in trial.